Back to our lecture series on electric circuits and networks. So this is the 7th video of module 1. In this video we are discussing about Norton's theorem. So in the last class we were discussing about Thevenin's theorem, and we had completed some numerical problems also in Thevenin's theorem, but actually we didn't do any problems on dependent sources, because I'm planning that session just after the basic introduction of Norton's theorem, because after this session you can understand that Norton theorem and Thevenin theorem are somewhat analogous, or uh, you can say these two are some analogous circuits. So it will be very easy if we are dealing big problems with solving with both Norton's theorem and Thevenin's theorem. So it will save some time also. So that's why after discussing the Norton's theorem and after solving some simple problems, the complicated problems like problems with dependent sources and all, we will discuss both these theorems together. That is, if I am taking a big problem, I will solve that problem using Thevenin's theorem first. After that, I will solve the same using Norton's theorem, so that we will get some reductions in steps, or we can use some data from first theorem to the second theorem. Okay, so we can go in depth to the Norton's theorem. So this is the statement. In any linear active bilateral network consisting of number of energy sources, resistance, etc., with open output target terminals. Okay, you can see the first portion I have written with some pink color, and the second portion is written with some black color. So the first portion with pink color is representing some if statement, and then what we can do or how we can simplify, that is written in the black portion. So first I'm repeating it once again. It is this theorem is telling or describing about the behavior of a linear active bilateral network, like same as that of the all theorems that we already learned. It is also talking about any linear active bilateral network consisting of number of energy sources, resistance, etc. Then one more condition is there, with open output target terminals, can be simplified into a simple network consisting of current source in parallel with resistance. So now you can relate somewhat with Thevenin's theorem. In Thevenin's theorem also, and that theorem also describes about how you can simplify a complex network to a voltage source and series resistance. Here Norton's theorem describes you are going to simplify a big complicated network into a simple network that consisting of one current source and a resistor in parallel with it. One current source and a resistor in parallel with it. So in Thevenin's theorem you are simplifying with a voltage source in series with a resistor, and in Norton's theorem you are simplifying the same source with a current source in parallel with the resistance. And surprisingly or fortunately, these two resistances are same. Thevenin resistance that we are representing using RTH, and Norton resistance that we can represent using Rn. These both values are same, or the both procedures we are adopting to find out these resistances are same. Okay. So now it's time to look what is the how we can find the for simplifying the network we need a current source and a resistance. I already told you that the resistance Rn is same of that of the resistance you found in Thevenin's theorem. So you may get some idea about that. Anyhow, I will explain it also. And the current value I or IN is also we have to determine that. So what is the procedure for determining the value of IN? So that I am explaining in the next slide. So here you can see two figures. Okay, please eliminate this first figure. It is not needed for you. Okay, you don't need this figure. Okay, this figure is what this figure is representing is, okay, leave it. You can see the second figure. In second figure you can see a big network. I don't know what are the things inside this network block. It may be energy sources, resistor, capacitor, etc. Whatever it may be, such a complicated source can be simplified into a simple network that consisting of, yes, a single current source, and its value is IN. IN is nothing but I Norton, and a resistance RN, that is Norton resistance. Then these both are connected in parallel with the same open circuited terminals. Here in the first figure also we can see the terminals are open circuited A and B. In the second figure also, or in the simplified figure also, you have to connect the IN and RN in parallel with the open circuited terminals of AB. So what is IN? IN is the current at the short circuited load terminals. So for finding IN, anyway you have to short circuit the load terminals. That is the hint you can understand from this statement. For finding IN, you have to short circuit the load terminals. So A, B are the load terminals. Anyhow, while getting a problem, you should identify which is the load terminal, and you should make that load terminals open, as same as that we did in Thevenin's theorem. You have to remove that load branch, and then that terminal is identified as open circuited load terminal. Okay, but here for finding IN, you have to simply short circuit that open circuited terminal. So you have to connect a short circuit between these A and B. You have to short circuit these 2 points, and then by using some techniques like KVL, KCL, or voltage division rule, current division rule, whatever it may be, you have to find the value of current passing through that resistance. Okay, so you have to short circuit means you have to short circuit in the basic network, not in this simplified network. You have to short circuit in the basic network, and you have to find the value of current passing through that short circuit path, and that current is known as IN, or Norton's current. And what is RN? RN is Norton's equivalent resistance with respect to load terminals after suppressing all sources with its internal resistance. This is very similar, this is very common for you, because in the last class also we discussed this thing, and in that class the name was not RN, the name was RTH, RThevenin. So both the things are same, the procedure are same. Anyhow, you have to look back from the load terminals, and you have to suppress all the sources with its internal resistance. That is, if you are having a current source, you have to replace that current source with its internal resistance. It is nothing but infinity. So the current source will become open circuited. And if you are having a voltage source, you have to short circuit that voltage source, because a voltage source internal resistance is 0. So replacing a source with 0 resistance means it will act as a short circuit, or you can just draw a short circuit there. So now IN and RN are very clear. So before discussing in detail about these steps, I think it is better to take a simple problem and we can solve that problem. By solving that problem, we can discuss what are the steps, how you can identify the load terminal, how you can remove the load terminal, what is the procedure for finding RN. All such things we can discuss while doing the problem. And in while solving Thevenin's theorem, we did all those things step by step, and the procedure of finding Rn is just simply same as that of R Thevenin you found in Thevenin's theorem. Okay, so this is the first question. Find the Norton equivalent circuit and also solve load current and load voltage. Solve for load current and load voltage. Okay. So in this problem, you can see here we are having a 12 volts voltage source and a 4 resistance are there, and also these resistance is specifically marked as RL. So load resistor is directly given in problem itself. In some problem, you may be asked to find the current through that 1 ohm resistor, 2 ohm resistor, like that, and you by viewing that question you will find you have to consider that particular 4 ohm, 3 ohm or 2 ohm whatever as the load resistance, and you have to remove that branch. But in this problem, load resistor is directly marked in the question statement itself, sorry, in the figure itself, and the name of that load resistor is RL, load resistance RL, and terminals A, B is also directly marked in the figure. So you can simply identify the load terminal, and you can simply make the circuit open by removing that RL. So this is the RL. This is the load resistance. So solution, steps in brief. I am identifying all the steps in brief. I am discussing all the steps in brief before going into problem. First, you have to identify the load branch and remove it. So in this problem, there is no need for identification at all, because in the question the load branch is directly given. RL is directly given. So okay, no problem. So second, find Rn with respect to open circuited load terminals. Already you understood that some branch is a load branch, so and you removed it from the circuit, and now you have to find Rn by looking back to the circuit from that open terminals, and you have to suppress all the sources with its internal resistance. Okay. Next is third step, that is step for finding In. The third step and second step, there is no need for putting this order exactly as I told. You can find In first, and then you can find go for Rn, or reverse. You can find Rn first, or then you can find In, whatever it may be. No issues, no need to keep order of 2 and 3, step 2 and 3. So I put a short circuit under the load terminals and find the current passing through this short circuit. Already you removed a branch in between A and B, and that branch was load branch. So now it is a open circuited circuit. Now the circuit is having open circuited load terminals, and now they are telling you to short circuit that open terminals, short circuit that A and B, and by using some technique you have to find the current value that passing through the short circuit, and the value and the particular value of that current which is passing through the short circuit is known as In, or Norton current. So this is the procedure for finding In. Okay, what is the fourth step? Connect In and Rn in parallel with the open circuited load terminals. For what? You have to connect In, Rn in parallel with the open circuited load terminals in order to find, yes, in order to find the further analysis, or in order to do the further analysis, you have to draw the equivalent circuit. For equivalent circuit, you need In and Rn connected in parallel with the terminals A, B. Okay. Step 5. Connect the removed branch back to the load terminal and find I, V, etc. through the load. So for getting the final answer, you have to connect that removed load branch back to the equivalent circuit, and then Simply you can find what is current through the load, what is voltage across the load, such things. Okay. So this is step 1. So already we identified load terminals and we made that load side open circuited, and we marked A, B terminals here, and load is identified. Load is identified and you remove that load branch from the circuit. This is the circuit without the load branch. Now you are starting your analysis. Step 2. To find Rn. To find Rn, initially we was having a voltage source here. We was having a voltage source of 12 volt here, and now you replace that 12 volt with its internal resistance, that is nothing but a short circuit or 0. Okay, all the other elements are there, but in prerequisite class we already said you, if we are having a resistance in parallel with a short circuit, no current will pass through that particular resistance. Here you can see this 10 ohm is in parallel with the short circuit. So current coming from this side will not enter to this 10 ohm resistor, because all the current will pass through the short circuit path. So the 10 ohm resistor will be exactly bypassed. So 10 ohm resistance is parallel to the short circuit. I have written here 10 ohm resistor is parallel to the short circuit. So no current in the 10 ohm. So I am talking about this 10 ohm. All the resistors are having same value, so don't be confused. So in next figure I will replace that 10 ohm. This is the equivalent circuit by replacing that 10 ohm. Now you can say, so you are looking from these terminals, so you are connecting a battery across these terminals in order to find your equivalent resistance. So a current will pass from this terminal A towards the 10 ohm resistor. It will divide like this. It will divide at this point. So some current will enter to the 10 ohm resistor like this, and it will loop throughout the circuit and return back. So these two 10 ohm, which I have drawn in the blue color, are in series. I think it's very clear, because a same current will loop throughout these two 10 ohm resistor. Okay, so these 10 ohm and these 10 ohm are in series, so it will give 20 ohm, and that combination will be in parallel with the other 10 ohm. That combination will be in parallel with the other 10 ohm. So I can say 10 plus 10, 20 in parallel to 10. So 20 into 10 by 20 plus 10, that will give 6.67 ohm. This is the value of R Norton, or Norton equivalent resistance. Now step 3. It is a step for finding IN. So for finding IN, first we have to short circuit the open load terminals. So A and B are short circuited with a dead short. I have drawn it with this red line. This is the short circuit, and the current passing through the short circuit is named as Norton current, or IN. So again I am doing some analysis to find IN. Now you can see this is the 12 volt supply, and this supply will give some current IT, total current IT, and that total current IT will depend all the resistance. So the total current IT will depend on the equivalent resistance of the circuit, because the IT is going to be delivered to all the resistances. And one important thing here, as we are short circuiting this branch and current is coming from this side, no current will enter to this 10 ohm, because here we are having an easy short circuit path. So all the current will bypass that 10 ohm resistor through the short circuit path. So you have to remove these resistance because it is not making any sense. No current is passing through the 10 ohm resistor. So in next figure I removed that 10 ohm resistor. Now there is 3 10 ohm resistances, and as I already told you, IT is nothing but, here you can see, IT is nothing but the voltage V by its total equivalent resistance. So for finding out the equivalent resistance, you can see current is coming from this direction and it is splitting into two paths. One is this path and other one is this path. Okay. So you can say the 10 ohm and okay. So you can say these 10 ohm and these 10 ohm are in parallel. This is a parallel, sorry, are in series. It is a series path and its combination will give 20 ohm. That 20 ohm is connected in parallel with this 10 ohm. Okay, it is clear. So with respect to the 20 volt source, R equivalent is equal to 10 plus 10, that is nothing but these 10 and this 10. This is a series path and that combination is in parallel to other 10. That combination is in parallel to this 10. So the total you will get 6.67 ohm. That is the equivalent resistance of the circuit. So the IT or I total will be 12 volt by 6.67, that is equal to 1.8 ampere. And now please be careful. Please be careful. Is this a simple way? The method what I adopted is not a simple way. You can find the IN in a single step. I will explain. Anyhow, now you didn't get the IN, or the only thing you got now is IT. IT is 1.8 ampere. So after completing this entire calculation, I will explain another method. In that method, you will find IN in single step. Okay, let it be. Now anyhow you got IT. IT is equal to 1.8 ampere. So IT is here. IT is the current that you will get in this branch, and you have to find IN. So IT is getting split into two branches. One branch is this and one branch is this. So you have to apply current division rule. So IT is 1.8 ampere, that is gets splitting into this orange colored branch and this blue colored branch. In the blue colored branch there is 10 ohm and 10 ohm in series. So you can simplify it as a branch with 20 ohm resistance, and in other branch there is 10 ohm resistance and the main current is 1.8 ampere. So current division rule states that current in one branch is equal to main current into resistance of opposite branch divided by total resistance. So in this circuit you can see main current is 1.8 ampere and you want to find IN. So resistance of opposite branch is 10 ohm. So IN is equal to 1.8 into 10 ohm divided by total resistance 20 plus 10, that is equal to 30. So you will get 1.8 by 3, that is equal to 0.6 ampere. So you have to follow 3 or 4 steps to find this answer. I Norton is equal to 0.6 ampere. Now I will explain what is a simple method. So for getting any simple methods, you should be strong with basics. Otherwise, you have to do all these steps. Now, if you are strong with your basics of parallel circuit, I will say this is the 12 volts voltage supply. And this voltage supply is exactly in parallel with this 10 ohm branch. Okay. So voltage across these 10 ohm branch is also 12 volt. Now you can see this branch is in parallel with this branch. What I have said? This 10 ohms branch is in parallel with this branch with two resistors. So what is the resistance of this branch? Resistance of this branch is 10 plus 10, that is 20. So 12 volt is common for this source, that is also common for this 10 ohm, and that is also common for this 20 ohm branch. All these three branches are parallel. So you are getting 10 volt across these terminals. And in this branch you are having 20 ohm. So what is the current IN? IN is created by a voltage of 12 ohm and its corresponding resistance is 20 ohm. So IN is equal to 12 by 20. You will get 0.6 ampere, exactly what you got in the previous calculation also. So IN is equal to 0.6 ampere. You have to take whatever method that you like, but while doing some short way or easy way like what I explained now, you should be very careful and you should be very clear about basics, otherwise you will get some wrong answers. Okay, so now you got Rn and In. So it's the time for drawing the equivalent circuit. Norton equivalent circuit. In is equal to 0.6 ampere and Rn is equal to 6.67 ohm. Sorry. This is 6.67 ohm. Please correct it. 6.67 ohm. Now 0.6 ampere is connected in parallel with 6.67 ohm, and here we are having open circuit terminals AB. That is the equivalent circuit. And now for doing the remaining calculation, you are connecting this RL back to the load terminals. This was the removed branch earlier. Now you are connecting this RL back to the load circuit. So RL is equal to 10 ohm. Removed RL is reconnected. So why you are reconnecting this RL? Then only you can find the current and voltage through that RL. If you are asked to draw just the Norton equivalent circuit, no need to connect this RL back. You have to keep the AB open and you have to represent only Rn and In. But in this question, you are asked to find current through the load and voltage across the load. That's why you connect that RL back to the equivalent circuit. Okay, and you want to find the current through this RL. Simply you know that here we are having a 0.6 ampere current, and that is get dividing into this branch of 6.67 ohm and this branch of 10 ohm. So what is the rule or what is the law you need to apply? It is nothing but current division rule. Main current into resistance of opposite branch divided by total resistance. So IL is equal to main current, the 0.6 ampere, into resistance of opposite branch 6.67 divided by total resistance 6.67 plus 10, that is equal to 0.24 ampere. 0.24 ampere is the current passing through the load. Now you are asked to find what is the voltage across the load RL. So you know the resistance value of RL and also you know the current that passing through the RL. Then voltage is nothing but IL into RL. Voltage across the resistance is I into R or IL into RL. That is equal to 0.24 amps into 10 ohm. So you will get 2.4 volt. So this is the way how you can solve a big circuit and to find the particular things like a current in particular branch or a voltage across particular branch using Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Okay, so by this we had completed the basics of Thevenin circuit, and in next class we will be solving some problems with dependent sources also, and in that we will do Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem on each problems. Okay, so thank you for watching. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.